integrity, honesty, hard work, and a ready smile reflecting joy and accomplishment have produced both personal and material growth and well-being and form the keystone of our employee and customer relations.
A tradition of dreams, challenges, and opportunities. The history of Grede Foundries is a story of generations of men and women coming together, touched by a single vision, and passing it on. That vision can be traced back to one individual, Bill Grede. In 1920, Bill Grede, at the young age of 23, purchased a small gray iron foundry in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin called Liberty. He started with just 40 people, a 15-year land contract, and a set of personal convictions that would soon become the guiding principles of his company. He believed that profit benefits everyone. He believed in the individual and recognition of merit, security in performance, in community responsibility, and he never forgot his father's words. To be successful, you have to be honest, work hard, and keep smiling. The history of Grede Foundries could be said to be the story of one man, but it's more than that. The ideas and principles of Bill Grede were a call to those around him to realize the best in themselves and to bring that quality out in service to others. From his generation to ours, this call has been answered, and together we have built a history that's a source of both pride and inspiration. This is the real story of Grede Foundries. It's a story of quality, of service, and of people. America went through a number of hard economic times in the 20s and 30s, including the Great Depression. But Grede Foundries survived and even prospered. As true today as it was in the Depression, the key to success was service. As the reputation of our company grew, so did our list of customers. Customers who found Grede delivered with a level of quality and service not to be found with other suppliers. In a pattern set and repeated again in the years to come, the foundry grew in size and capacity. By the end of the decade, 7 additions had been made to the original Liberty Foundry. This growth, even in hard times, would not have been possible without the hard work, sacrifice, and loyalty of people. Fringe benefits for employees in the 1920s and 30s were almost unheard of. In a time when most workers could only expect a pay slip and a handshake from their employer, Grede did more. True to Bill Grade's vision, we began to reinvest profits back into the company, where they indeed benefited everyone. We started one of the nation's first group insurance plans for employees in 1924 and soon added sickness and accident insurance, paid vacations, and a pension plan. In the days of the Great Depression, when many people were without work, we found a way to keep our people on the job and prospering. We did these things not because they were mandated, but on principle. For many employees, coming to work at Grede was very much like joining a family. That family grew by 150 people in 1927 when we purchased the Spring City Foundry in Waukesha, Wisconsin. In the first year, with Pete Krulin at the helm, production of gray iron castings at Spring City increased 300%. In 1928, Bill Grede persuaded his brother Art to sell his tire business and join the foundry business. The truth in Grade's original vision and principle of security and performance showed again when in 1932 we took on the poorly performing Milwaukee Steel Foundry and returned it to profitability. In 1940, Liberty, Spring City, and Milwaukee Steel joined together to become divisions of a newly formed corporation, Grede Foundries Incorporated. Under its new management, Milwaukee Steel's production reached record levels by 1942, just in time for the increased demand for steel castings caused by World War II. We produced the power shovel, tractor, and turbine parts needed by our customers and our country. After the war, security had been won for our country's and our company's next generation. The demand for Grede's quality and service continued to increase. We had firm control of our own destiny. We could do something we had never done before. Previous acquisitions were of existing foundries. But in 1947, we broke ground for our first newly constructed foundry. When the Iron Mountain Foundry opened, it melted 18 tons of iron per day and employed 64 people. Part of being in the jobbing business is always looking over the horizon for new methods and materials to produce castings. Ductile iron appeared on the next horizon. Again, Grede took a pioneering role in developing this new and highly useful engineering material. In 1951, Grede Foundries purchased a small gray iron foundry in Reedsburg, Wisconsin, and quickly shifted its production to ductile iron. The expertise and flexibility shown by Grede employees in these early days allowed Grede Foundries to lead the industry with this vital new material. Grede still profits today from our performance then. In 1960, the next generation of the Grede family assumed leadership at Grede Foundries. Burley Jacobs, who had joined the company 15 years earlier, became president and focused his attention on the continuing growth and stability of the company.
And we didn't change an awful lot. We certainly didn't change the philosophy or the principles, but we did try to expand our marketing expertise, and we got involved in ductile iron, and we depended heavily on people like Dr. Roof and Jack Steele and Les Wilkie, who were all key in the growth that we had in the 60s and 70s. You know, in the old days, you used to buy a piece of equipment and put it in and then go out and try to sell castings for it, and we tended to try to see what our markets were, what did our customers want, what did we have to do expanding-wise that's going to take care of them and better serve them. And so I think it was more people involved and a little broader look at the marketing aspect of the foundry business. We added foundries, or we would buy a foundry because we knew what we were going to have put in it. And it's as Jack Steele used to say, you don't build a dance hall and go out and sell tickets. We wanted to have the tickets sold first.
Burley put together a management team the company could count on to be leaders in their fields and push the boundaries of traditional foundry operation. He didn't have to look far to find the talent to take on that responsibility. Many of these individuals came from the swelling ranks of the Grede workforce and were often the second generation in the foundry. Since the days of Bill Grede driving a Tin Lizzie on his route of customers, the aggressive selling of Grede quality and service and just-in-time delivery has been one of the driving forces in our growth, and we wanted to grow. Our casting sales in 1960 were about $12 million, which was pretty good for the average foundry company. But being average was not part of the Grede plan. With the acquisition in 1966 of the Midwest Foundry in Wichita, Kansas, new markets were opened in the southwestern United States for ductile iron as well as gray iron and steel. We recognized the need for a change, and in 1966, a true marketing department was created. Under the guidance of Jack Steele, we began to change the way we approached getting new business. We identified the markets where we were doing most of our business and aggressively went after the top producing manufacturers in those markets. We developed specific plans for growth. We stayed flexible. We strove to keep our molding lines full and our people working. Our people did work, and with the additions of mechanized molding lines and machinery such as the Herman at Reedsburg in the late 60s and early 70s, productivity began to soar. Molds once measured in hundreds per day were beginning to be measured in hundreds per hour.